This is Never Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? What is up, man? It's your boy Mike Tag here with Kelly K9. Special Wednesday because you know your boy's going on vacation. It's 9 o'clock my time, but I'm sympathetic to the cause, and we're going to do a show and get things going. So, what's up, Kelly? How you feeling today, my man?
I'm feeling pretty good. We started the show without me being frozen and looking like a deer in headlights here on YouTube Live, so that's off to a good start.
I showed that. I showed that to my brother. Man, we were laughing. It was funny because you just had that serious look on your face,
What?
and I was like, man, is he frozen or is there something wrong?
Well, what was funny was that I played the intro video, and the intro video froze on the screen. So I didn't know that they could see me. I figured they're still just seeing the intro video froze on the screen. So I had no idea until afterwards when I went back and kind of watched a little bit of the beginning of the show to see how that went off, that I was like just sitting there just staring blank in the deal. And then I started talking and said my mic was muted. I clicked the mute and actually muted myself. So I'll tell you, man, the train was falling off the wheels, but we're back at it, man. Back to dynamic duo.
I caught it when I landed. And I would have loved to be there with you guys. It was awesome, and it was good. It was good. We definitely got to have him on again when I'm there, so we can enjoy it. And Angelica, yes, Kelly is out of jail. Good to see you. We got some new faces in here, so it's always good. We appreciate it. Before we get going, again, make sure try to get all these comments in, man. Just make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. If you're new to the show, we're getting subscribers every day, but we still got a lot of viewers that aren't subscribing, from what I can tell. So all that does is help Kelly and I out, helps Jimmy out, helps the channel out. So doesn't cost you anything. It just shows the love to your boys here, trying to bring you some good entertainment and some good Cowboys content. Just mix it up with the fans. So please, if you haven't subscribed already, man, just hit it, hit that like and all that good stuff.
That's right. That's right. Because without the subscriptions and the likes, well, we can't do what we do, and we like to do what we do. So you guys keep on helping us, and we appreciate it. And Clarence, yes, I was frozen. I like my margaritas frozen, not my face.
Yeah, and Ultra Cowboys MIA, and I think he's been going under some other names. It's almost my brother and I were talking about. It's almost like if you were into wrestling back in the day, like I was with WWF when Andre the Giant had that match where he had to leave, and then he came back with a mask on, and everyone knew it was Andre the Giant, but they tried to play it off. It's almost like that because we've been getting some comments from some different people, and it seems like it could be Ultra in disguise. I don't know, but we love Ultra.
It seems a lot like Ultra. It seems like Ultra in disguise. He just, he ain't busted out with the old luchador mask or anything like that. But it's I feel like Trinidad Tito or whatever he was that last time or whatever. Well, I feel like that had some Ultra vibes.
I think that was him because I know he loves boxing, so I on purpose. Trinidad was actually, believe it or not, one of my favorite fighters. So I said he sucked because I knew I would get a rise at him, and he bit right into that, and he got offended. So it was good. Now we've got a packed show. We're gonna break down the schedule. We're gonna do what Eugene Lockhart did. If you guys heard him on the show, he's kind of like this,
and
right?
Usually during the off season when they bring the schedule out, we would chalk it up as a W.
So the schedule is out. So we're going to break down some stuff. But before we do, I know Kelly's been been mixing it up with some of these Eagle fans and stuff, and always defending the Cowboys, which we love. But what's up, Jeff? 505 Club. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there the next 2 weeks. My 505 member or happy hour on Friday, where we mix it up a little bit and have a good time. I got to go on vacation, so they're going to have to find a replacement. But I want to play this for you, Kelly. This is something my brother sent me. Kind of funny. Maybe you saw it, and if you did, just play along. It's only about a minute long.
Hey babe, work was so crazy. You won't believe it. I think I lost my phone.
You told me it was over between you two.
It is.
You're lying. You left your phone here.
I can explain.
I saw the emails, the text messages, and the pictures. And then I went through your stuff, and I found this.
It's not what it looks like, okay?
Look, I ain't want to hear it, girl. What is this? In my house.
Babe, listen. I swear it's over between me and Dallas. It's over.
Let's see. Touchdown, Des Bryant!
Woo! Go Dad!
How could you?
Because they're the better team. The Texans suck. And you have to admit, we have a really good running back.
The only thing I'm running back is that ring.
Fine. My team has 5 of them anyways. What about yours?
Y'all haven't won one in over 20 years.
Still counts though.
Yeah, whatever, girl. And you know what? I hope the Eagles win the division next year.
What did you say?
Oh, that's good. I hadn't seen that, man. That was good. That's good shit. I like that.
It was floating around there today, but it was funny. It was funny. So I just thought you'd get out of it because I know you're hitting it up with the Eagles, and I see Troy saw it today. Hopefully, a few others saw it. But it was funny.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I like that.
It's always good because the history we always say we got 5 rings, and they always bring up it's been 20 plus years, whatever. We all know that. I mean, you don't need to remind us. We've
lived it. We're living it.
But it still counts, doesn't it? I mean, do they get taken away after some time, man? I don't know.
Yeah, we're the only ones that have expiration dates on them. You know what's funny though? Is that I always get you guys are always talking about your Super Bowls. You guys are I really don't talk about the Super Bowls. The only time I talk about them is when Philly's talking about their 1, and I tell them, well, we still got 5. We talk about them, Cowboys, because these motherfuckers keep bringing them up. Like, just shut the hell up. I'm not sitting there reminiscing on 92 and 93. I really don't. Like, unless we're talking to one of the old school Cowboys players, that's the only time I'm reminiscing. I'm thinking about this year, and like last year. I forgot last year. Last year's put in the rearview mirror, man. Unless we're just talking about something for the show, I don't care about last year. That's the past. I don't dwell on it. Eagles fans are the ones that dwell on it. They want to talk about how long it's been. Well, me and Mike have walked in those shoes, as has the rest of Cowboys Nation that comes along with us. We wear the shoes of 28 years without anything since, without a couple of 4 playoff wins. We know it.
Yeah. Don't need it. Yeah, you can remind us, but it still doesn't matter. You can't take away those 5. Those 5 counted. And I always tell people, if it didn't happen in my lifetime, then you probably got some on me. But I saw 3 and I remembered them very well. So I still 3-1. Forget the other 2. You guys say, all right.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
You want to, if you want to be fair. So we'll see what happens. It's exciting. So what's more exciting is going to be one friendly reminder: the tailgate party, the first annual Cowboys Cave tailgate party, home opener, I should say, against the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers is coming to town. We are going to have a great time. Now, we got, I spilled the beans a hair. We got verbal commitment from Eugene Lockhart. He's going to be coming in, hanging out with us, mixing it up with the fans, and we're going to have a good time. So make sure if you guys are going to the game, you got to come check us out. Come hang out with us for a little while. If you ain't going to the game, get your ass a standing room only ticket, or just go down there and hang out at the tailgate, and then go hit tight ends, or hit one of them bars and just watch the game from the comfort of your stool.
Exactly. If you're going to a tailgate, I'm not gonna shit on anybody else's tailgate, because the Cowboys Nation has got tons of great tailgaters that do it big. But I'm just letting you know, if you're making the rounds and you don't get a stop to the Cowboys Cave tailgate, then you're gonna be missing out. You're gonna have Eugene, the hitting machine Lockhart, in the house, my boy Mike Tag, and yours truly. And we're gonna have Cut by Jones out there cooking it up. So I mean, if you can smell what the Cowboys Cave is cooking. It's gonna be a blast though, man. I can't wait to see everybody and have people stop by and meet people and get to see all the Cowboys Nation and the fans, and just it's a beautiful thing, man. And it's one of my favorite things about football is tailgating. So can't wait.
And it's a big thanks to Mark. He went ahead and he stepped it up, and I put a call out for some help for some space and maybe a ride in a truck, and he came through. And then you had Jones, obviously our sponsor, Cuts by Jones. Make sure you guys get those cuts. He's going to be working the grill. And if you follow him on Twitter or Instagram, any of that stuff, Facebook, you see what he does. So he's going to be mixing it up. I know Doug had reached out to him. Other people have reached out. So as we get closer, we will definitely put out the details. Like I said, we will supply the space. We'll supply some stuff, but you got to show some love back, man. Don't be coming empty-handed. At least, bring a beer. You know what I'm saying? Bring a bottle. Bring stuff. Bring food to be sympathetic to us because it's going to be a lot of fun. And if Eugene's out there, I don't know about you, but we're going to see how this game goes. We might have to suit him up and get him out on the field because we can't let Rodgers beat us, man. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. We got to, it's anytime you can get a guy like that and then see him in person and meet him in person and be around him. I mean, you guys seen the podcast a few weeks ago when he came on. That man is full of energy and man, you never really know what he's gonna say. So it'll be a great time. And you can ask him some questions about Jerry Jones and see how he feels about that in case he didn't make it crystal clear.
Crystal.
I love that when he said that. Crystal.
Crystal clear, man. You said that right. No problem with that, man. We love it. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, we haven't figured out where we are. And we're gonna have some non-alcoholic beverages too. We do have some people. Hey, you don't need to drink if you don't want to. We're gonna be providing some sweet tea and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. We are looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome. So it's gonna be don't miss it. Don't miss it. And we hope to make this an annual event, at least once a year, maybe twice, depending on Kelly's schedule. If we can work stuff out to do it a couple times, then we will. But it's going to be a good time, and we appreciate it. And we don't know the lot. I know Lot 13 has been mentioned and some others. We're not sure yet because Mark is kind enough. He's a disabled veteran, so thank you for your service. So he gets some benefits on parking. So it's just a matter of where we can go. Ideally, Lot 10 is closer to your boys' seats. And Kelly's sitting with me, so I'm sure he wants to be closer there too, so we could stagger in. And then Mark, Mark, he gave me some good news. He got a little change to his seat, so he's kind of closer to where we're at too. So Lot 10 is kind of the ideal spot logistically for us. But as we get closer, we'll definitely be letting everyone know where we'll be out, where we're going to be, and we'll be out there bright and early. So it's going to be Dougie Fresh. Oh, I thought you were about my man Dougie Fresh. My rapper. They're trying out there doing some DJing or something, man.
Hey, I just want to say before I forget it, I seen somebody in the chat and it kind of scrolled up there. I didn't get it quick enough to highlight it, but somebody said bottle of choice. Listen, if you're gonna bring a bottle and you want to make me smile, 1800 tequila is my preferred brand that I can't resist tequila. I can't say no. So I'm just saying, if you show up and you want to give me a shot of 1800, I will gladly accept 1800 tequila.
Yeah, we're gonna have to drop some video. We got to do the pregame hype video there, game day hype video. Kelly will be so it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I don't want to drag the whole show out on that. We got important business at hand, and that is this schedule. And let's see if I can get it right. You guys see it. We won't leave this up too long because you want to see our smiling faces. I know that. But, get a glimpse at the schedule. We're going to run through it. Like my man Eugene said, we're going to go game by game, and we're going to give you what our instant reaction, gut feel is on each game going in. So, Kelly, we're going to start this is like going back in time of the good old days. New York Giants, opening night, Sunday Night Football. This time we're at New York. What's your feeling on this game? And in the chat, we want to hear your feelings too.
Well, I think that when it comes to the Cowboys and the Giants, I think there's three things you can be certain of, and that's Dak Prescott beating the New York Giants at home, on the road, or primetime. It don't matter because Dak Prescott owns the New York Giants. Literally, I feel like that he's their stepdad, and I think they maybe even filed a case against him for child support last year. So I see that as a win, chalking that up. I don't care where the hell we play the Giants at. Daniel Jones he has never beat Dak. He's not beat him once. So, and I don't see that happening again this year. So Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are taking that week 1 win.
No, I feel the same. I mean, my thing is, I think the Giants, that was a Cinderella year for them. Everything went right. I don't think they're as talented as as they were last year, as their record indicated. Like I said, the schedule's going to be a little bit different. I mean, we beat them with our backup, right? So, and we were reeling there. You know, I think it was the second game Monday night on the road, if my memory's right, and we ended up beating them in an ugly game, but a win's a win. And I think we're going to handle them easy. To your point, so we're going to start the season 1-0. If anyone disagrees, this is where we need you to chime in the chat. If you don't think we're going to be 1-0, but I think we're going in week 2, 1-0, home opener, Dallas. Now we got Aaron Rodgers. You know, that uneasy feeling with Aaron Rodgers. What's your take on this game?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be another win, man. I think that the Jets, that'll be a tough test for the Cowboys. I mean, coming off a road primetime game, you know, Aaron Rodgers, but it's gonna be the home opener. It's gonna be high energy, and I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be ready for this defense, man. You know, in the past when he's played us, you know, I mean, I do have some flashbacks, horror flashbacks, the last year when our defense completely fell apart in Green Bay and just choked a double-digit lead away. So there is always that. But if I'm taking the PTSD and putting it aside, I think this defense is going to be on another level this year. I think the secondary is better. I think the pass rush is better. Top to bottom, defense is just better. And I think they'll be able to handle Aaron Rodgers. And that's a win.
Yeah. I think, and actually, David stole my thunder. The Jets, the one intriguing thing for me, which I think is on Dallas's side, we're playing them early.
Yeah.
I think Rodgers is kind of just going to be getting his feet wet with the team,
Yep.
Getting the chemistry with the receivers and with the line and all that stuff that goes with it. So like I think we talked about last year, the Jaguars were the team I wish we would have played earlier in the year than later, because I think sometimes in these games it's all about timing. And I think the timing is right for us to beat Aaron Rodgers, get that, we beat him before, but it's been heartbreak for a long time since we beat him last. Get that kind of monkey off our back, almost like with Tom Brady, exercise that demon and go 2-0. Start the season 2-0, which I think most of you guys know, high percentage of making the playoffs when you start the season 2-0. Right. We are going 2-0. Now we're going to go, now we got the Cardinals. I believe, is that on the road? Is my memory right?
Cardinals, I believe, is a road game.
Yes, at Arizona. That was the one I didn't write down. So we're going 2-0 at Arizona. What is your take on this game?
Arizona is another win for me. That's a team that's I feel like is in a rebuild mode. That's not anything that I'm really impressed with there. I think that actually should be one of our easier wins of the season. Kyler Murray is not really anybody that worries me either.
I don't think he's playing.
Is he not?
He's been a Cowboys killer, but if my memory, guys, correct me, please help me in the chat. But I think he's out for the first part of the season, because I think they've even talked about they're one of Arizona. They're one of those teams where they think they may not win a game. So I don't know.
Yeah, may tank. So yeah, I chalking that one up as a pretty easy win for the Cowboys. It's nice to have an early bye week, though. So
yeah. So I'm with you. We'll keep it simple. Dallas 3-0, coming back home against New England, and I'm going to be there. My wife's going, and my one of my best friends, his wife is a New England Patriots fan. So we got New England at home. What is your take on this?
Well, it took last time we played New England, it took everything we had to beat them. And we beat them in pretty spectacular fashion, the way that we took them out. And, it was in their place. So now they're coming back to our place. I still like Cowboys in this one, though. I just feel like that defense, I feel like the defense for us is going to be, I feel like our offense will be good enough to score points, but I feel like our defense is going to just terrorize opposing quarterbacks. And I think Mac Jones is in for a long day when he comes to Dallas. So I've got us beating New England.
All right. Well, this is let me answer Mark's question first. The Jets have all of it. I mean, they honestly, they got Breece
Hall,
running back, coming back from an injury. Garrett Wilson, who's a great young receiver. They got some of the Green Bay guys, Cobb, and a couple other guys over there. So their offense is going to be there. Offensive line, I don't really know much about. Defense, but I still think we win. This is where I might get some hate. I might get some, but I gotta give you my honest opinion. My thoughts on New England, and just hear me out. It's before the San Francisco game, and I just have this feeling that maybe they're looking a little bit ahead, wanting to get some revenge. And I think I think Dallas is going to have a little bump in the road. And I think they're a better team than New England, but I think they're gonna lose to New England.
I mean, look, if New England didn't have Bill Belichick, I would say I'd be like, nah, I don't think so, just because I don't think they got enough talent on that team. But they are a very well coached team, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and so I mean, I could see it. I just think New England, I don't know that they have enough playmakers to put up a lot of points on offense, man, unless they go out and, they're still rumored to be kind of in it for the DeAndre Hopkins signing. If they added DeAndre Hopkins to that roster, I think that would make them a more formidable opponent. Yeah. I don't see them having enough juice, man, to score enough points. I feel like our defense is going to stifle them, and that's going to be the difference. Will be our defense.
Yeah. Now I hope I'm wrong. I'm just trying to, just put some logic in. Like I said,
I get you.
17-0, but I mean, realistically, it's not going to happen. So I'm trying to think in their minds. So that leads us to the showdown Sunday night at San Francisco. Obviously, they have our number. They've beat us twice in the playoffs, ended our season. What is your take going to San Francisco?
San Francisco has been a thorn in our side, and it's just a mystery that we can't solve. We've beat them. Dak's beat them before, though, in the regular season. Just recently, they've been the team that just kind of seems to have a thorn in our side, and we just can't seem to shake that monkey off our back. So I'm going to say here that we take our first loss of the season. And I say that with this. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where it maybe for Cowboys fans to be like, oh, here we go. We can't beat San Francisco. But I think, in my thoughts, I think it's going to line it up. And I think that San Francisco and Dallas meet again in the playoffs. And I think in the playoffs is where we get our revenge for San Francisco. So give them the regular season win, because we'll get you back in the postseason. But I think we get our first loss with San Francisco.
All right. Now maybe this is where I can get some love back from Dallas. The reason I think we lose to New England is because we're looking ahead. The players got their eyes on revenge. They get revenge against San Francisco Sunday night, exercise that demon, and we get the W at San Francisco.
All right. I like that.
So we both, after this, we're both 4-1. So we have the same record. We each have our guys losing it, and I don't know if you guys are with me or not with Kelly. If you guys have the same record, or do you got what you guys are thinking? But right now we're looking at 4-1. Now at LA Chargers Monday night, coming off the San Francisco game. What do you got?
You said Chargers, right? Not the Rams.
No, Chargers.
All right. We play the Rams this year.
We do play the Rams.
Okay, but it's the Chargers. All right. So I got this as a win, and I think this game is a little personal for Mike McCarthy, and I think it's a little personal for Anthony. Yeah, you're allowed here. We had an Eagles fan find us. You're welcome here.
I have no problem with Eagle fan.
You're welcome, Anthony. Go ahead, but don't you start cheesing up over here, because we got you. I got my eye on you, sucker. No, I got this as a win for the Cowboys. I think it's a revenge thing for McCarthy, and I think that's a tight knit coaching group. So I think Dan Quinn is going to have that defense ready, and I think they're going to, bold prediction here, I think they're going to hold the Chargers to single digits.
Wow.
Single digits.
Wow. This is one, again, maybe I'll get some hate, but I just think after a big win at San Francisco, going back to California, going back to Cali, right?
Going back.
I think Dallas, and this pains me because I don't want them to lose to Kellen Moore. And I still think Dallas is a better team. But I think they lose that game going into the bye week. So I've got them losing to the Chargers going into the bye at 4-2, and you've got them 5-1.
5-1.
So you're with 5-1. I'm 4-2. I think Troy, I saw him 5-1. What else? If you guys are hanging with us, what is the record going into the bye? I got 5-1 or 4-2. Kelly's got 5-1. So now we got our bye. We're coming off the bye. Now we got the Rams at home. I think, Eagle fans are used to this. We're not. A 12 o'clock start, 1 o'clock their time. I think this is our only noon game of the season. So we've got the Rams at home Sunday for a 12 o'clock kickoff.
I'm gonna say that's a win. I think the Rams are on the downside, on the downcline. I think they're, they had that all in a couple years ago, got them a Super Bowl out of it. Now you're starting to see the effects of them giving up all those draft picks and making big high dollar trades and signing, all these guys that ended up hitting their cap because they're not going to have the talent to hang with the Cowboys in this one. And I see this as a fairly comfortable win for the Cowboys, where they kind of run away with this thing in the second half.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. I think they come off the bye, they stomp the Rams at home. They're the better team, so they go ahead and get that W. So that puts me at 5-2. You're at 6-1, right?
Yep.
So 5-2, 6-1. The next game against our friends of the East, the Philadelphia Eagles at Philly, Week 9. What do you got?
Okay, so the Dallas fan in me wants to say that we sweep the Eagles this year, but I think this is our second loss of the season. I think we lose to Philly on the road. Not going to give away what I'm going to think we do at home, but I think we lose this one on the road. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll come down to the fourth quarter. It'll be a single possession game. It's not going to be the Cowboys getting blown out, but I think we drop that one. I think that's our second loss of the season for me.
All right. And I think I agree with you. I think going on the road against Philly, I think it's Philly's a good team. I mean, we can all have fun with them, but they're a good team, and typically you split your games with your within your division. Now, obviously we'll see if we both feel that way down the road, but I think Philly ends up winning a close game. They're at home, and I think we take our third loss for me. So you got us with 2 losses. I got us with 3. Now we come home against the Giants. Now there's another game I'll be at. Looking forward to it. What's your thoughts on this game?
Death, taxes, and beating the New York Giants' ass. That's another win. That's another win.
I mean, I'll make this easy. I got us winning that game easily.
Yeah.
Well. So that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 6-3. You're at 7-2.
Yep.
And here's where it's going to get a little interesting, I think, for us. You got Panthers. I think. What's your thoughts there?
I got a win there. I think that's a young team, but I think it's not a team that has enough talent to beat us. So I think that's a win. I think we should beat up on the Panthers. Yeah.
Yep. And I think I'll be at that game pretty sure. Hopefully.
All right.
I hadn't heard from Doug. Hopefully he's got a ticket for me. I'm paying for my ticket. I'm not asking for no handouts. But hopefully, because that's one I'm going to have to go solo. I got no one to go with me to the Carolina game, so I gotta hook up with some Cowboy fans to see if I can.
There you go. There you go.
I want to hang out with. So I got us beating the Panthers. I think that's going to be an easy win. And now Thanksgiving. So now we get into the fun time. Thanksgiving, Washington at home. What do you say?
That's another win. I think that's what I consider what I like to call a homecoming game. Cowboys, they win that one. They schedule a cupcake team. Washington's in flux. Don't have a quarterback that I'm scared of. And I understand people are going to be like, well, Sam Howell, you beat us, whatever. But, but the dog shine, what is that? The sun shines on a dog's ass. Everyone's, so they got lucky in that game. That was a game that I felt that we were just Cowboys weren't in it mentally. I'm not scared of the I almost called them Redskins. Not scared of the Commanders. We're beating them. We're cooking them up and carving. We're eating Commander, whatever the hell that is.
I don't know if they're going to be allowed to be called the Commanders soon, right? Don't they have some?
They got an infringement thing. They may have to take it back to something else. Maybe they should call them the Turkeys because that's what we're going to carve them up and eat them like.
I'm with you, man. I think Washington. I think easy win for us again.
Yep.
So I think both of us with this have them winning 3 in a row off of that loss to Philly. Now you're at home Thursday to Thursday. You got a home game against Seattle Thursday night. Seattle's an interesting team, but what's your thoughts on that one?
That's going to be a tough one, man. I flipped back and forth on that one, on whether I thought that was going to be a win or a loss. It's a short week, and it's at our place, right? And it's back at home.
Yep, it's home, and yep,
is it at home?
At home.
So I mean, we have the Thanksgiving game that's on a Thursday, and then it's another Thursday, so it won't actually be a short week. It'll be a regular week. So I say that game's gonna be a really good game. I feel like that's gonna be a very exciting one, but I'm still gonna take the Cowboys. I think we edge out Seattle on that one, and pull away with that win.
Yeah, and I think it's a short week for Seattle, maybe.
Yeah, I think it is for them, which is why I kind of like the Cowboys in that one, just because we'll have a little bit more rest than they will going into that game. So I like our chances.
I agree. That was one of the games I was thinking about going to, but I didn't. Couldn't make. Oh no, I am going to that one.
I was gonna say, didn't your son pick that one as his lottery pick?
No, he picked it. We're going to the Philly, but I think my buddy going to the Seattle game because I was like, man, Thursday night we could sneak out, fly out on a Thursday, fly back on a Friday, have our weekend. So make it a quick, easy trip. Won't cost a whole lot. So I think I was able to fit that in a budget. So I got us winning that one. Ain't losing no games while I'm there, except the New England game I got us losing, which that better not happen because I won't be happy. So now we get in at home, what I love the most, Sunday Night Football at AT&T against Philly. I don't even tell you how I feel about it because the record speaks for itself. But Kelly, what's your thoughts on this game?
Well, this is where we take it out on them for the close win that they gave us, and then the Cowboys come back home and the confines of AT&T Stadium and do what Dak Prescott does, and he drops 40 on them sons of bitches as we split that series with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I got that as a win.
All right, so you got that as a win. I got it as a win. We're going down. We got our last 4 games, so let's just recap. I've got us with 1, 2. I've got us with 3 losses. You've got 2 losses, right?
Yep.
So that's where we're at with 4 games left. Now it's going to get interesting. At Buffalo in December.
Okay, so I've said that my prediction, I think early on when we talked predictions was that I thought we're gonna win one more game than we did last year. So I think we're gonna end up at a 13-4 record, but I got this one as a loss. I think this one's gonna be tough. I think it's Buffalo has they've got playmakers on both sides of the ball. It's gonna be cold. It's just not gonna be ideal situations. And it's not that I don't think Dallas can win in less than ideal situations, but I don't think we're going to beat Buffalo. I think that's going to be a loss.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people in the chat have the same thing. And I've been to a cold game in Chicago when Dallas was there, and it was the coldest game at Soldier Field on a Sunday night game, and we got our asses beat pretty bad. The only good part about it was so cold that nobody was cheering and no one could see. Everyone was all covered up, so it made it a very easy time at the game to get out without being harassed. So that was always the good thing. But I'm with you. I think you're going up to Buffalo. It's going to be cold. It's going to be middle of December, and I think the Bills are going to end up beating us. So that puts me giving us 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. You got 3.
So I was going to say, Steven over here in the chat made a good thing. That's going to be a very exciting thing to watch, Diggs on Diggs. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean that would be interesting to see if they line up against each other a bunch and how that is. I got 2 older brothers. So
I was going to say,
brotherly rivalry, you'd never want your brother to beat you. So I don't think it's going to be a friendly thing. I think they're going to be very competitive with each other.
I was gonna say, if I am Trayvon Diggs, I'm begging Dan Quinn to line me up with my brother, because you know, I mean, it's a sibling thing, but I mean, they're both super talented. They're top of their positions, and so that's gonna be interesting to watch. I can't wait to see that. So that'll be a fun matchup.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Josh Allen Diggs, because they had that little blow up at the end of the season, and something just don't seem right in Buffalo. And I know my man Jim's up in New York, and he's talked about it, and he's heard about it, and he's read about it, he's seen what they're saying up there, and something's just not right there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And again, with all these predictions, we're predicting this just like anyone else. What everyone's healthy. Everything's playing. Everyone's at their best. We know how the season goes, and So anyway, just because what we say here, I'm getting a lot of hate for the Patriots pick. There's a method to the madness. There was a thought behind it. We could have been playing the Cardinals before that week, and I probably would have had them as a loss. So going down to Miami. Now this one disappoints me because I had this on the schedule. This was my road game to go to. I know Fred was going. We were getting ready to have tailgate party. It was going to be an awesome time. And the NFL schedule makers decided to make it on Christmas Eve, which doesn't make it easy for family travel. So even though I've got some family down in South Florida, it just makes it hard. So at Miami, Christmas Eve, what do you say?
I'm gonna give us a win here. Coming off a loss, I think the Cowboys are gonna respond, and I think that Buffalo game, I think, will be a tough game. It'll be a physical game, and I think it'll be nice to get down into Miami, who tends to play, I don't necessarily say finesse game, but they just don't. They're not a really physical team, and I think the Cowboys will out physical Miami, and I think they'll be able to get it done and get a win there and bounce back after that loss from Buffalo. So I got them winning there in Miami.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there, so I this is why I could say that, because I know they wouldn't do it to me. But I got Miami beat. I got Miami beating Dallas. I got this being our only two losses in a row, both on the road. I think if you look at the history with Dallas, with Mike McCarthy always used to say unfamiliar opponent, they do struggle, and they've struggled outside the conference. I mean, remember the Titans game? That was just, against their 4-string quarterback, it was ugly. Houston wasn't a pretty game. The Colts, we blew them out, but it was a little funky for a little while. So the Jaguars beat us. So even within playing the worst division last year, we had our struggles. So I'm just thinking this is probably going to be another struggle. Dolphins are going to be needing this one really bad. And I just think that they end up beating us. And this gives us, for me, it gives us 5 losses. 5 losses on the season. For you, it is, what do you got, 3?
3. Yep.
3. Okay. So we're a little different. So that's what I got. And don't hate me. Don't hate me for it. I'm just trying to be honest. I got to be skeptical, because I know we know Dallas does certain things. I went to that Jaguar game. I seen it happen. We seen the Green Bay. Doesn't mean we're a bad team. It just means sometimes during the season, funky things are going to happen. And I think that may be the case there. So now we got a Saturday night game back at home against the Detroit Lions, who a lot of people are saying this up-and-coming team, that they're the dark horse. They're the ones to watch. They're the team to watch out for in the NFC. What say you about the Detroit Lions?
I say we're going to beat the Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be one of those games where I feel like it could end up turning into a shootout. And I know we got a really good defense, but, sometimes defense doesn't come to play. I think this may be one of those games where it's, kind of a upper 20s, mid 30 type game, a 35-28, 35-32 type game. But I got the Cowboys pulling this one out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Dallas wins this one. I don't think it's going to be, I don't know if someone had mentioned this might be a 12 o'clock game. I don't think this is going to be, if it is a 12 o'clock game, I just don't think it's a night game.
It's a night game. Saturday night.
Oh. Saturday night. So it's a Saturday night game. I saw 12 o'clock in the chat, so I got confused. But I think Dallas wins this one at home, prime time. They handle their business, and that leads us to the season finale at Washington. It's how you look at it. Does Dallas have something to play for? The rest of the stars, but we got to go in thinking that they got something to play for, and they're going all in. So, what say you on this one?
Well, see me, this is where I give us our fourth loss. And
Okay.
the reason why though is because I do think that we sit our starters, and
Okay.
I think at that point, I think with only 3 losses, I think we've got the East locked up, and I think we might, because 14-3, I think that's good enough to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. I think we'll have it. I think we'll lose that game, and it'll drop us to 13-4. But I think that that's still going to be good enough for us to have that number 1 seed in the NFC. And I don't think that game will matter whether we win or lose. So I got us losing to the whatever the hell you want to call them. I got us losing to them guys in the season finale. So,
all right. Well, I got us maybe because I have us with that a couple extra losses that you have. I got us playing that game to win, and I think they win it. I think they win it easily. I think they got a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. So it's funny, so we're done. We're done with it. So for me, when you guys heard me a few weeks ago, I said, well, I think this team is better than last year, but I don't think the record's going to be better. But when you sit down and you do what Eugene Lockhart,
and usually during the off season when they bring the schedule out,
right?
We would chalk it up as a W.
So we went ahead and did that. And I have us at the same exact record as last year, 12-5.
12-5. And I only took us with 1 more win, but I think that's enough. That's good enough to get it done. 13-4. I think the NFC is going to be competitive this year. I think that the NFC East race though is going to be over by early December, because like I said, I think it's a 2-man race. But again, and I will be ready to eat crow if it doesn't happen, but I'm not backing off this. I'm not saying this just because of my Philadelphia Eagle hatred, which I do have plenty of. I think that the Eagles go 9-8 this year, and I think that division, the NFC East, is going to be won in the early part of December. So that race will be over early part of December. Christmas, you guys, Cowboys fans, we can all kind of just sit back and chill and celebrate and just watch us whooping teams' asses on down the stretch, and then hopefully that the 13 wins is enough to get that number 1 seed in the first round bye. Now, I will say this, though. What does bug me about what I said there is that I don't like the notion of sitting the starters and losing a game, and then having a bye, because you lose a game, then you got to bye. And I get having the starters fresh and all that stuff like that. But, having that first round bye and that number 1 seed for the Cowboys the last several years hasn't really worked out well for them. Mm-hmm. But then again, not having the bye hasn't worked out well for him. So who the fuck knows? But this is a different team. It's a different year. And that's how I see it playing out, man. So hopefully we get that first round bye, roll into the playoffs, and just kick some ass.
Well, and I think if you guys look at it, so again, don't go killing me, because I got us at 12-5. That's a pretty damn good record. But if you look at it, there's always, I'm not as dumb as I look. All our losses but 1 are to who? The AFC.
Yeah.
So when the tiebreaker comes, we only have 1 loss in the NFC. So our conference record is going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So the ties for the tiebreaker, if we have the same record, I feel Dallas will end up getting the tiebreaker. But like I said, I just think if you look at the history of McCarthy, the uncommon opponent, he said it before, in the history with Cowboys in out of conference games, it hasn't been the best in recent years. So 12-5 is a damn good record. It's actually, like I said, it's better than I thought they were going to finish. When you're just looking at it and you're saying, all right, the schedule's a lot tougher. If they go 12-5 with this schedule, that's pretty damn good. I mean, they've got a serious schedule. They're playing probably, if not the best division in the AFC, a very, very close second to the AFC West. And oh, by the way, they're playing an AFC West playoff team from last season. So they don't have no cupcakes in any of the AFC games that they have.
No,
and then
tough games.
Playing our division, and then playing the AFC West, which I think we both probably agree is the better of the divisions outside of ours in the NFC. So we're playing the toughest divisions in some form or fashion this season. So this schedule is not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy. And I can see there's a few of those games that I consider coin flip games that could go either way. A couple of those games that I've got wins, and even a couple of games that I've got losses. You can flip flop some of those, but I feel like that Detroit Lions game, that's going to be a tough game because I do feel like, I like their head coach. It's hard not to like him. He's got that Dan Quinn style personality, just rough, but the players.
He's all Cowboys, so you got to love him a little bit.
Yeah, he's all Cowboys. And the players love him, man. Players love him, dude. You could tell his players love him, kind of similar way to Dan Quinn. I see that, at that Miami game, I said that I think we can win. I could easily see that, though, also being a loss because of the fact that they do got some guys on that team that can, their receivers are pretty damn good. Jalen Waddell and Tyreek Hill, those guys ain't no slouch. And then I can't remember who the third receiver is, but he's got talent too. So there's some tough games. It's not like we got a cakewalk schedule. It's a tough schedule, but I look forward to watching all these games, man. And there's intriguing things all along the way, though. You know what I mean? You've got the Josh Allen and the Dak Prescott comparisons getting made and stuff, so they get to go head up with each other. You've got Mike McCarthy going against Kellen Moore's new offense with the Chargers. You've got that storyline. Like, there's storylines all throughout this schedule. The Eagles winning the NFC East last year. Are they going to be repeat champion this year? We get to go head-to-head with them suckers again 2 times in a row. Let's see if they make T-shirts like those cornballs always tend to do. But, storylines all throughout the season, high drama, like only the Dallas Cowboys can do it. Can't wait to kick this thing off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I'm with you, man. And, and again, starting it off Sunday night against the Giants, like old days, old times when we did it, that's just a great way to start off the season. And then, again, getting Aaron Rodgers back at home, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, we're having our Cowboys Cave tailgate party. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So the schedule is there. You do this. Obviously, there's so many things that can happen to the teams that we play. Knock on wood, nothing happens to our team. But, when you look at the schedule, that's kind of like your early prediction. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think both of us probably, got us winning the division. I think both of us have us, I don't know what your prediction is for the Cowboys in the playoffs, but it's putting on that 6th ring. That's the way I look at it.
It's the expectation every year.
I was commenting with someone on Twitter. The expectations of this team have never been as high as they are now in a long time. And I don't know. Do you go to 2014? Do you go to 2007? Do you go to 2016? Whatever years you want to make it. 2016 was probably kind of a miracle season, right?
It was a surprise.
So I don't know.
A surprise.
14 and 7 were probably the two where you look at these teams like, man, we got to be able to make a deep run and get to have a shot at the Super Bowl with those two teams. But I think this is even bigger because this defense is the way it's built and the way it's what the expectations are. This is going to be a Bears, Ravens, Doomsday, Buccaneers in the 2000s. It's going to be that kind of defense is what we're expecting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about I haven't felt this way in a while with this Cowboys team. I've always felt like we had some weaknesses that needed to be addressed that always kind of concerned me. And it's like if we could tweak this or we could tweak. This year is the closest that I have felt to this team being a win now team in a long time. Like, I feel like this Cowboys team could do it as constructed, but I feel like they should be in that all-in mode. And I really would love to see this Cowboys team, like me and Cam and Massey talked last week, add another playmaker to this offense, whether it be Dalvin Cook, whether it be Andre Hopkins, whether it be going after maybe I'm not necessarily sure about Kareem Hunt, bringing Zeke back, whatever, but just add something more, add a little something more to this offense, man, because I feel like they've got the cap space to do it.
Yeah.
This whole front office should be like, look, this team is very close to winning right now, because here's the thing, man, coming into next year, you know, you're starting to have to sign some of our more talented players, man. Diggs going to be getting his deal. You've got, you know, which you've got CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, I saw that his deal is almost getting his deal. It sounds like is about to be announced soon, hopefully before the season starts. So you're going to be paying some of our premium playmakers on this team, which starts to make it more important that you go ahead and do this now. We've got a young team, a good foundation. I feel like we built really good through the draft. But, man, this front office cannot be scared to pull the trigger. If they start this season and they've got something kind of similar to kind of how the Eagles did last year, where they were weak against the run, they brought in Sue and that other guy, whoever the hell it was, I can't remember who they was. And Ndamukong Suh, and then somebody else they brought in.
He was from the U, old guy from the U. I forgot his name, but yeah,
big guy. But, you know, they brought in some run stuffers, man, because they knew. They're like, hey, you know what? We're not going to let this be our Achilles heel all year. We're going to address it. We're bringing in these guys. Let's sign them. So I want the Cowboys to take that approach this year, man. And if they, you know, get into training camp, man, and they, you know, them running backs ain't what they seem, man, go out and sign somebody. There's a fucking laundry list of guys out there that could be signed. And so I'm just excited about the season, but I feel this team can win it. Win it all. I do.
No,
yeah.
100%.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just gonna say it's 100%, and I think we've talked about the running game. That's one of our concerns. I know Troy said, you know, Jones getting cut. I hope I'm wrong. Whoever we're lining up, man, I'm all in on all of them. But to your point, I wish that, you know, I wouldn't mind it if they made one more addition. You know, receiver. You know, Hopkins, obviously, how do you turn him down? So, I wouldn't. But I think if there's an area that I'd love to see them maybe just add a little bit more juice would be at the running game, because it's like I was talking to somebody, or maybe it was on the show. My mind goes in so many places. You know, you're talking about the fullback, and I know everyone's hyping. There's always a guy in training camp that is just like the fan favorite, and he's going to be it. And I'm not saying he's not, but he was undrafted, one. He didn't play at a major school, too, which, all right, maybe that doesn't mean something to some people. Maybe it does. But I'm not pinning my hopes and my dreams on this team going to the Super Bowl with him handling short yardage, goal line, grinding out the clock, being that running back to do it. I'd rather a proven person. Now, if they prove me wrong, hey, man, I'm all in. But if you've got running backs and you've seen the list out there, and I know, hey, some of them are near the end of the career and this and that, but I'm just talking about veteran presence of a guy that can do it.
Yeah.
I sleep better at night that way. Now, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
I agree. And no, I'm telling you, man, nobody's talking me off this Dalvin Cook hype train, man. Look, there's been people that are like, nah, Dalvin Cook, we don't want Dalvin Cook, this, that, whatever. Look, I'm taking Dalvin Cook. I don't care, man. I'm taking Dalvin Cook. He's still a playmaker. And I've heard that what he was asking originally was pretty high price. Then he started coming down on his asking price. I think they said his asking price now he's looking for around a $10 million deal. Look, if you tell me I get Dalvin Cook $10 million for 1 year and I sign him to a 1 year deal, I'll sign him to a 1 year deal. Look, he's talking about he wants to get a championship. I'm sitting him down saying, look, come to Dallas. It's tax-free state. You get your whole $10 million, you know what I mean? And you've got two running backs. You've got Pollard that's on the tags making 10. You've got him that's on tag making 10. So you've got $20 million allotted to your running backs. You've got Hunter Luepke back there, and then you've got your Deuce Vaughn back there and your Malik Davis. And let's roll with that. But I'm telling you, man, I'm on the Dalvin Cook train, man. I'm on the let's get him and add him. I feel like he'd be crucial.
Yeah. And hey, man, Cole's Cowboys in the house. We had him
Shout
on.
out Cole's.
Awesome dude. Great podcast, great show, great channel. Make sure you guys check him out. Subscribe. We always got to show love to the Cowboys family. And how do you feel about Cordell Patterson? Is there something I'm missing about Patterson? Fill me in, because I like him, but I know he's in Atlanta.
I thought he was still in Atlanta. Is he a free agent, man?
I'm to that man, because I know Jimmy D would be very upset because he's got all these visions with Bijan and him. So it would be interesting to see, if something happened there. But I would love. Now he's a flashy guy, so I don't know. I want a guy that is gonna kill the clock, is gonna grind it down when we want to demoralize a team and just and break their will. I want the running back that can do that.
So apparently there was an article real quick. I had to Google that real quick to see if there's something. He's still with Atlanta. There was a mock trade having the Falcons. trading. And this actually says that they're proposing. You won't like this one, Mike. It says they're replacing a trade with Neville Gallimore for Cordell Patterson. So Gallimore entering the last year of his contract, and then them bringing in Cordell Patterson since we're looking at running back. So I don't know that I like that because then we lose our. We
got to start all over. We got to find another one. We got to see and he did it. He does it so well, and God, I don't know if anyone. I mean, you saw the Danucci. I had to get rid of the Danucci one. I had to replace him with
Crystal.
I had to replace him with Crystal because it's not easy to do that intro. And man, he got it down. But I tell you what, Patterson, if you talk about it, if you talk Patterson for that, I mean, how could you not like it as a fan? I mean, you want some juice on the offense. Well, there you go.
That would definitely add some juice to the offense because, I mean, he's a hell of a player. So, I mean, I guess, it would suck, for the intro and everything. But I guess if we were going to trade a Neville Gallimore for a Cordell Patterson, I'd say that we probably win that trade, honestly. But But I'm sticking with my guns, man. I'm still sticking to this Dalvin Cook thing. I think he needs to come to Texas and try to win a title here in Texas. So I know people say he's got his eyes on Miami, but I think Jerry Jones still got a little bit of salesman left in him. So
I think he can get it. And Danucci we love, but if you heard his intro was pretty bad. So
hey, maybe you can get Eugene Lockhart to do an intro. I bet
that's what I'm going to do. Well, if Eugene Lockhart, his plan is to be at the tailgate. So we are going to create our intro at the tailgate party. We're gonna make some cuts. It's gonna be a business trip. You know what I'm saying? Not only we're gonna beat the hell out of the Jets, but it's gonna be a Cowboys cave, tag and K9 business trip because we're gonna work in this intro with the fans and with Cowboys Nation and with Eugene Lockhart because I gotta think he could do a badass intro. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Hearing him talk and the way he got passionate and started, when he started getting on his little rant, and then I mean, how could you not think that he would be? Yeah, exactly. Get Eugene. I mean, you want to talk about get hyped for an intro, man. You might be having people trying to run through their computer screens before we start the show next year. We get Eugene on the intro.
No, that we want. Now, the other thing I'm working on with Eugene is talking to a promoter in Dallas that they do a lot of signings at sports collector shows, and they always have a lot of Cowboys. So I reached out to him about interest in getting Eugene Lockhart there. So Eugene Lockhart is they definitely want him. Maybe they saw him on the show and said, "Hey, how did we not have this guy? A cowboy great, not here mixing up with the fans." So if he does, we're definitely going to promote it. But Kelly and I need you guys to show up strong for Eugene.
That's right.
And make sure when you see him, you let him know, "Hey, man, we heard you in the Cowboys cave, man. We came to show some love back."
Because that's right.
He's about as good as a guy that I've met. Like I said, we've interviewed, and we've had all great guys. I mean, Campo, he was so gracious and he was so nice, and everyone's always been very nice. But he picked up the phone when the show was over and called me and just said what a great time he had with both of us on the show, and the Jerry Jones, impersonation and all the comments and the phone calls that Cowboys Nation and the Cowboys Cave gave him after he gave out his phone number, which I begged him not to. But hey, man, he's a grown man. If he wants to do it, I can only say stop. Don't do it one time. But he's just a good guy. So hopefully, you guys make sure you go out and support him if you're in the Dallas area. So
that's right, man. That's it. You guys know the place to be and the time and the date to be there. So wait for the details. Let you guys know exactly where it's at. But as long as you're tuned in every Wednesday or every Thursday, you're not going to be able to miss it. We're going to let you know.
Hey, and Doug said he called them. See, I want to know who called him. I want to know who called him and what did you say and what was his response? I just, it's hard to do it on here, obviously through chat, but it would be interesting to see how he was on the phone. If he was he the same guy that was on the show, or was he a little different, or Steve called him too. So yeah, he said he got a bunch of calls. He said, because I almost was going to go into the show and kind of bleep out the phone number out of respect. The funny story I have is a buddy of mine. We used to go to all the WCW wrestling matches, and we put our phone number up on a sign. My buddy put his number up on the sign, and whatever. So this is going 25 years later. He's had the same number. He gets a call one night, and the guy goes, "Hey man, are you Fish?" Because that was his name, Fish. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I saw your sign on WCW. I was watching something on YouTube, and I saw it. I figured I'd just give you a call to see if it's still your number." And he goes, "Yeah, it's still me." So I don't want that happened to Eugene, so I was going to bleep it out. But the only problem is, I think I gotta cut the show, and we lose the hours and the views. And I mean, yeah, I hate to be selfish to the cave, but those were some good hours. We don't want to lose that.
Hey man, he gave it out not only once, he gave it out. I think he gave it out 3 times because he gave it out, he repeated it, and then towards the end of the show, he gave it out again. So yeah, I mean, hey, look, if he gave it out, it's it's the gift that keeps on giving. You guys got where else can you come to a podcast and get Eugene the Hit Machine Lockhart's telephone number? His personal line.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And I talked to Campo about maybe coming on doing a Cowboys pregame, and I think it's cool. You get a chance to talk. So we may do it if Kelly, if you think it's a good idea, is we get Coach Campo back on before the season, and maybe we open some phone lines and give some of the Cowboys Nation opportunity to say, hey, ask a question. Show some appreciation, show some love, or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think that'd be pretty awesome, man. Because you like I said after we talked to Campo, I said that I thought that Campo was one of my favorite interviews. Still one of my favorite interviews. Obviously, Eugene Lockhart was an awesome interview, but just in terms of a person, his personality, the way it came out, and for me, man, it was just kind of like, hey, I never thought I'd get a chance to talk to him, but then also to thank him for the work he's done with the Dallas Cowboys. So, I mean, think about it. There's not many shows where you get to call in and talk to a long tenured head coach like that was there throughout, 3 Super Bowls and a head coaching tenure, and then even came back again as a DB coach. So, stay tuned, guys, because we got plenty more to come. Not only that. As we get closer to the season, we're gonna have some drawings that we're gonna do, some things that get you guys involved, chance to win some, whether it be autographed merchandise or some cuts by Jones. We're gonna have some things in the works for you guys. So to start kind of giving back to you guys. You guys have given us, you guys give us your time, you give us your views, your likes, your subscribes, your shares, and that doesn't go unnoticed. So we're gonna start giving back because we are men of the people.
We are men of the people, and it was kind of honor. I was honored. Twitter Sometimes they're saying what was it? The Cowboy. Who's your?
If somebody, they said. I think it was something about if you could vote a leader of the Cowboys or something, who would it be? And
so Kelly and I got some love, and I think it's kind of cool. I always said this with Kelly and I we've always been kind of. Even before we've kind of become friends and do all this stuff, we're always kind of, intertwined somehow through social media. A lot of people comment on his, comment on mine, and they always kind of link us together in some way. So I thought that was cool that there was a lot of comments of both of us. It shows the appreciation, and we appreciate it, especially, now we get this opportunity to do this podcast and have a lot of fun. But, one other thing that, George Teague was a fun interview. We might have to do that again. Might have to do that again with college. I know he's a college guy. And, we're going to get this season going. But we do, and this won't be a call-in. This isn't going to be a call-in if it happens. And so far, I've got the commitment that it will. I'm not going to say the name, but it's a 3-time Super Bowl champion who's on offense. And when you know him, it's no name. But I'm going to be selfish, and I know Kelly wants to be selfish too. So we're going to monopolize his time. And he's going to come on. He said he would come on in July timeframe to do kind of a preview of the Cowboys. So we won't talk so much about the 90s Cowboys. We'll talk a little bit about it, just kind of an overview, but we will get into some of the Cowboys. So that should give you an idea because he's very current with the NFL today and with the Cowboys. So hopefully we'll get that one in there. That'll be a lot of fun. And actually going to reach out to him next week when I get back from vacation, just to kind of make sure we're still on target for a July timeframe. And we don't know if it'll be live. It may be pre-recorded, man. When you get some of these guests, we got to take what they give us. So
that's right.
Figure it out and we'll work through it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So what do you think on CD? So we kind of just touched on it for a minute. What do you guys in the chat think about CD? Looks like it's the contract's coming coming close to an agreement from what they say on social media. So I guess you got to take it with a grain of salt. But 25+ million.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts?
Well, I think he showed last year that he's capable of being a number one receiver. I mean, CD was doubled a lot last year, and he was the primary focus of pretty much every defense he went up against, and he still just, pretty much slaughtered and ran through every defense like a, hot knife through butter. So I think he's shown it, man. I think he's shown he can be the, the number one wide receiver. I think he's earned that money. I think he's gotten better every year. Just continues to progress. And I'm excited to see what he can do this year with a, with a legit number 2 running on the other side of him. He's got Cooks with him this year. And then I think, if you see an improved Michael Gallup, like we all hope to see and think we're going to see it, I think that's going to be really good for CD. So, man, he earned his money, and, go get that bag and bring a 6th Super Bowl back to Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, and it's tough because, the receivers are getting paid. And
they are.
Running backs, they're not getting paid. And the running backs are, they're touching the ball a lot more than the receivers. But receivers are so important, and I think we saw it. That one time we didn't have that number 1 receiver on the team, and then we got Cooper, and it kind of changed everything. And I think CD's clearly a number 1 receiver. I think he is going to have a huge year. I see someone said 1,600 plus 10 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. I think the way the offense is going to be set up, I think it's going to give him a lot of opportunity in space, and it's going to give him a lot of opportunity for that, yards after catch, which I think he's one of the best, in the NFL at that. He can make some plays. So he looks like he's just getting better and better. And you see the numbers he put up, and some people, it was kind of surprising. I mean, I looked at his numbers. I'm like, man, he did that last year. That man, and he had a backup quarterback for 5 games, which I don't really know if he did much during those 5 games, to be honest with you. I think that was kind of your Noah Brown sighting, which kind of got him going. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I think CD kind of just started steamrolling when Dak came back, and I mean, he just put up some monster numbers. So, we've got our, I'm going to drop a video on Monday for the top 5 Dallas Cowboy all-time receivers of all time for the Cowboys. And you'd love to get CD on there, but I mean, his career's not there yet. But I think he's a guy that
it could be
when his career's over is going to be on that list.
Yeah, you could it definitely be on his way, man. It definitely be on his way. Now, it's funny though, because when you talk about, doing. Not to take anything away from the show, but you talk about 5, getting 5 receivers. It's gonna be real hard not to put 3 of the 88 clubs in there.
So just I've asked people when on Monday when Jimmy left me hanging. I was going to do some sports show. I didn't even have any Cowboy stuff to talk about, but like I said, I think you can do the same. If you get us talking Cowboys, I don't really need much prep. That's why I always tell people I try and stay in my lane. Because you and I don't really talk a whole lot, about what the show. We got an idea of our topic, but you and I can we can kick some Cowboy talk like it's going out of style. So I did ask people. So I'm going to ask you, top 5 Dallas Cowboy receivers all time. Give me your 5, and I won't tell you if you're right or wrong. With the reveal that I don't want to steal the thunder of the show, but who's your top 5? And if you guys are in the chat, give me your top 5. Give us your top 5 as well.
Well, so I already kind of gave a little bit of it away. I mean, some of these guys might be. So I didn't get to see Drew Pearson play.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how great he was. Drew Pearson was one of the greatest, Cowboys receivers. And he long time overdue when he made it into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely would have to put him in there. He's the originator of the 88 club. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to put him in there. Now the other ones, obviously Michael Irvin, we know he's going to be in there. I mean, Michael Irvin, and then I'm going to have to say Des Bryant, because that's your 3rd number 88. So I'm putting all 3 of these guys in there. Man, after that, it gets hard, man. Because when I think of all-time wide receivers, obviously I didn't see Drew Pearson play. But when I think of guys that are in my era, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to think of anybody outside of him. But so Bob Hayes is a guy that was way before my time. I see that up there. But I think you probably got to throw him in. And then I'd probably say Tony Hill. They put Tony Hill in there, and that would round out the 5. Now, I will say that, it's going to be interesting, though, because like you said, with CD, if he continues down the path that he's on, there's a good chance that CD ends up inside there. But yeah, that'd have to be my top. It would be those. So 5.
Give me your 5. Say it real quick, because I know you were going.
So I've got Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson, Des Bryant, Bob Hayes, Tony Hill.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And there were some guys, I talked about with our receivers. The one that I had a hard time with was T.O.
He's on that. He is on that list, man. And he was
Cowboy years. But
right.
He was really good with the Cowboys those 3 years.
He really was, man. He was lights out. That's for sure. He put up a lot of yards. I think he had, I know he had at least one 1,600 plus yard season for the Cowboys where he went for over 1,600 yards. And I think he had something like 13, 14 touchdowns that year. Like it was a hell of a season that he had with us. So yeah, for me, I would keep him kind of on the outside just because of how short the career was with there. But I mean, you can't deny impact. Impact was a huge impact. But I mean, you definitely got, there's definitely some Cowboys wide receivers out there. It's funny though. When people talk Cowboys wide receivers, one of the ones that always stands out for me is Miles Austin, because I felt like if his hamstrings could have stayed healthy, the combination, the chemistry between him and Romo was just something special, man. Like I remember that game, I think it was against the Chiefs that he went.
That was a breakout game.
Was it like 200 yards receiving or something like that? And it was just something ridiculous. And he started showing out, man. And he had some speed to him. He could get out behind the defense, and with him, you kind of wonder what it would have been if he could have stayed healthy. Because once some hamstrings started becoming a problem,
the hamstrings
never went away.
Isn't that all about stretching and hydration? I'm not
you would think so, man. But it seemed like every time you turned around, Miles Austin had a damn hamstring injury, and I just thought about, man, if the dude could have kept his hamstrings healthy, that guy might have been a guy who could have crept up the list. Because boy, when Romo would get him the ball, was he explosive? Yeah. There was sometimes he was just unstoppable. Yeah. But it just that he's an interesting guy, obviously not top 5 material, but an interesting guy when I think about receivers from, more recent era.
Yeah. No, Miles Austin. Yeah. He was actually one I've been trying to, I was trying to get him to come on the show, but I haven't been able to track him down. So if anyone knows him, let me know.
Yeah.
I'd love to get, he was another one. It's just the injuries, but man, was he good in that short period of time. And
he was.
Look at the Cowboys in some of the receivers. Yeah, you got the no-brainers. A lot of people got the no-brainers, and I think, the 5 are there. It's just what order you put them in. Now, I already did the show. It's gonna drop on Monday, so I'm not gonna reveal anything. But some people said some things in the comment that, all right, when you hear it, you can say, all right, yeah, I told Mike this, and he put out. I already did it, but I will say a comment about Bob Hayes. Because he was before our time, and if you didn't watch the tape, if you didn't read about the Cowboys, you're talking about a guy who led the NFL in yards per reception in 2 years. He had one of the years I think was 26.1 yards per reception. Another year was 24. His career, he ended with 20 yards per reception. He had 1,000-yard season in the 60s. Now, I don't know how many people do that. Maybe, maybe Maynard, maybe some other guys that are out there. I don't know. But he changed the way that teams had to play defense. You couldn't play man against.
Yeah. Well, you don't get a nickname, the Bullet, by being a guy who is not fast. That kind of gives it away right there, Bob the Bullet, right? You know what I mean? So 26 something yards per reception is something that And that's an amazing number. If you ever see something like that for a receiver now throughout the course of a 17-game season, that guy's going to be an all-pro. But yeah, so Bob Hayes, a guy that I never saw play, but I have seen highlights of him, and I do know that he was one of the greats, and that's why I gotta throw him in the top 5.
And he was an original 22. I mean, you talk about. I mean, we all talk about Smith 22. I mean, he was the OG 22. And the most disappointing thing, I have a Bob Hayes autograph. Obviously, he passed away. I had an autograph picture, and when I was younger, I never took care of my stuff because with all the UV lights, and you got to make sure you have the right framing and everything in front of the UV protection, and it just faded away in time. It was that Roger Staubach 8x10, an Emmitt Smith, the very first Emmitt Smith 8x10 I got. Some of the earlier ones, but then I look at like Michael Irvin. I got that Michael Irvin picture over there. I'm pointing over to it, and 1990, maybe 91, and it still looks as good as new. So it's just weird how some of the pictures over time. But now I've done a lot better. So I invest in the right lighting, and I keep these lights off when I'm not in here all the time. So, but yeah, Bullet Bob Hayes is just a Cowboys legend, and and that's the thing I talked about with the Cowboys, and I think it's so cool and I don't know another team that has the history with the players that we have. I mean, you're talking top 5. I mean, 3 of the top 5 are Hall of Famers. I mean, the running backs. I did the top 5 running backs. You had Hall of Famers mixed in there. I'm thinking about doing inspired by Eugene Lockhart. I'm like, man, maybe we do a middle linebacker, top 5
middle linebackers. Yeah,
I don't know. Does Eugene even make that? I mean, we've had that many great middle linebackers, every position, and I think that's what people hate about the Cowboys so much is we've just been blessed with just phenomenal Hall of Fame players and great players. And
I think that time that we had Joe Thomas on from the Steelers, remember we were talking about how many Hall of Famers they had when they played the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. We had just as many. I think they had on their team, they had like 13 or 14 guys that went into the Hall of Fame, not Pro Bowlers, Hall of Fame. And then I think the Cowboys at that time had like 11. Like there has been some teams that have just been littered with Hall of Fame talent, man. And it's one of the reasons why we are such a proud franchise, because we've had players like that have come through the Dallas Cowboys organization, man. So we got a rich history, man. When people sit there and tell me, why do you want to, you always talking about the past? Well, we got a rich history, man. It's a history I'm proud of, and I feel all Cowboys fans should be proud of. And even if you weren't alive to see it, you can still appreciate the greatness of what was done before those who we watch today. So
no, absolutely. And I'll just get out of the way. So yeah, that piece right there, I got, and Michael Irvin signed it. And the thing I love about it, he signed it 88 and then underneath 47 for Miami, his Miami number. But it's like a cloth. I don't know what they call that. I forgot what they call it, but it's one of those, so you got to stretch it out. It's like a cloth type thing, but I got it framed up. And I wasn't sure how good it would look framed, but it actually looks pretty damn good. It's one of my favorite things. I don't have an 88 jersey. That's the one thing I don't have. And I saw, Ray, you got 4 game-worn jerseys, man. That's pretty damn sweet. If it's Michael Irvin, it's hard to, Emmitt Smith was my guy, but like Michael Irvin is probably, I mean, would you say the most, your favorite Cowboy? I mean, how is he?
It's hard for him not to be because of his personality. You know what I mean? He's got such a big personality. The personality definitely lives up to the player that he was, the playmaker. Like he's still got that love for the Cowboys and that passion for the Cowboys. And like, I mean, I know Emmitt Smith does too. He's just not as vocal about it. You hear Emmitt Smith talk, and I love Emmitt Smith. He's one of my favorite players. Yeah. You hear Emmitt Smith talk, and you're just, you're like, okay, he's making some good points. Same thing with Troy, but they're both just kind of level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Michael Irvin will come and preach to you. He'll have a whole sermon ready to deliver for Cowboys Nation and for anybody that's hating on the Dallas Cowboys. Next thing you know, he's wiping his forehead from all the sweat and shit. Like, how could you not love that guy if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan? He is he's passion and he is talent and he's the whole package, man. And I hope one day I can meet him and shake his hand and let him know what
is. There's bucket list things, and you and I've kind of talked about. So if there was an opportunity that we get an opportunity for one Cowboy in the cave, we could have Aikman or Emmett or Michael Irvin. I mean, who are you voting that we try and get in the cave if it was ever possible?
I'm gonna go 88, man. I name it's funny too because I mean my son is I got a son named Troy. I named him after Troy Aikman. But man, I'm all about people who match my energy.
Yeah.
And my energy has always been a passionate, ready to talk some smack and get, let's get loud about it. You know what I mean? So I'd have to bring 88 in here, man, and talk to Michael Irvin just because his passion is undeniable, man. And I feel like also some of the stories that he'd have from back in the day, because he was one of the rowdier Dallas.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's some
Cowboys. I mean,
there's some story, and there's some there. Yeah, Eugene probably has some story. I told you there was a story, and I wanted to ask him. We didn't get a chance, but there was a story with Michael Irvin and him getting a little scrap on the bus.
Yeah.
Over, they did two alphas, and I think Irvin ended up, maybe got the best of them. I don't know. That's what. And if he did, that's pretty damn impressive. But like I said before, Michael Irvin grew up in South Florida, and he 17 brothers and sisters. It was a dogfight probably every day of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just
sure.
had two brothers, and I got a sister who's 12 years younger, so there's a big gap there. But having two older brothers, and it was my oldest was a senior. My next brother was a sophomore, and I was a freshman. So you had the three tags in the school. So and me being the youngest and the smallest, I was getting my ass whooped every day at home. Or my other brother, we'd gang up on the big brother, and have to take him down old school style. So it was always a fight in our house, man. I don't know how my parents survived, but
brother,
Michael Irvin he would be the one that I would, and it would be tough because Emmitt Smith. I mean, God, it'd be so cool to talk to Emmitt Smith and all the stories I have. But Michael Irvin would be special because obviously the Miami connection, and then I think he would be more open. He wouldn't be as guarded. I think that's what you see a lot with some of our guys. You take it like Charlie Ward. You saw that interview, very guarded, very hard interview.
Yeah,
very difficult to kind of let loose.
Right.
Where then you get a Eugene Lockhart who just kind of. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he's not going to hold anything back. I think Michael Irvin would be kind of like that. So I think you'd have a lot of fun, and he probably wouldn't be afraid to share some stories and some fun times. Or I think Troy Aikman, probably more than Emmitt Smith, would be very straight laced and
yeah. You don't get any. It's pretty much just a straightforward answer. Anytime Emmitt's asked a question, anytime Troy has answered a question, but when you ask Michael Irvin, you don't really ever know what he's going to say. I mean, it's hard to really say what he's. Some of the things you hear that come out of his mouth, kind of do remind me of a guy like Eugene Lockhart, where it's just off the cuff and it's just like, he's not practicing it. He's just talking. He's him. He's that guy that's who he is. That's all the time. There's no faking. There's no trying to be this or that on the camera versus off the camera. He seems like what you see is what you get. And I love guys like that, man. And yeah, I'd absolutely, man. I'd love to get a chance to talk to him one day, man. It'd be a dream come true. And for sure, I definitely want to meet him in person, man, because as far as Cowboys autographs go, man, I don't have a ton of Cowboys autographs right now. I've got a couple, but he's one that I definitely want to get. I want to get me a Michael Irvin one, and I'd love to get it in person versus, buying it at a place or whatever. It's
cool. Always sweeter when you get it. Means something, means a little bit more.
For sure.
More stuff I got in person, but there's stuff that I've bought, just because just like the Emmitt Smith jersey I got right there. It was just, it was the right time, right place. So how do you turn it down? I got a Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach, one of those helmets back there that I got, I bought off someone, and I got a Tony Romo football I bought off someone. Sometimes you get people, they'll do these appearances. Like it was Troy Aikman and Staubach were doing like something for some company, they come in and they talk and then they sign. So a lot of these people at the company, they get this stuff and then they know I'm a Cowboys fan. They're like, hey, you want to buy this off me? I don't want it. And the same thing with the Romo ball. And then you can get it a lot cheaper than if you went, to a public signing or something like that.
That's the way to go, man. I saw some stuff here, man. I don't know if you guys got them down in Florida, but they got these big old sports places up here called Shields, and really cool places. They're popular here in the Midwest. But man, they had an Ezekiel Elliott helmet there, full size helmet. They had a mini helmet for $5,000. They had a full size helmet for $10,000, and I thought, I don't care if Ezekiel Elliott wore that helmet in his first game as a rookie. I'm not paying no damn $10,000 for some helmet. And then they had an Emmitt Smith. I think it was an Emmitt Smith helmet that was like $15,000. Now I'm like,
it's got to be game used or something. Man.
It has to be, because I'm like, how could you ask? But even this little mini helmet, though, they had that thing off. Actually, it wasn't $5,000. It was like $1,500. But still, a little mini helmet signed by Zeke for like $1,500. And I'm just thinking, nah, man, I'm not doing that, because I've been to some of the places where you can buy the the memorabilia and stuff. They've got a place like that here in Omaha, and you can go buy some of that stuff that's signed, and it's not near that price that they have that stuff for. But that's probably why it's been sitting there for 3 years, because every time I go, I check to see if it's still there, and it's never left. So
yeah,
it probably won't for that price.
No, I mean that's the right price, and I'd never do it. But I will say, Ray asked something about Michael Irvin. He'll look at the piece. There is a triplet. If you get some of the triplets, it's definitely higher price. Michael Irvin is, just it is what it is. He's the least valuable of the three, for whatever reason. Emmitt Smith's the most valuable, then Troy Aikman. So if you ever want to get a triplet signed, something, and you got a helmet, and you're like, man, I'm going to get all three of them on it, always get Michael Irvin first. If you don't get Michael Irvin first and you get him last, you're going to pay a premium, because he knows it's a triplet piece, and that's the way he gets to make more money. And that's
that makes sense.
So if you ever, and what you do is you could tell the players where to sign it. So you just say, hey, can you sign it here? And you have him sign it where you want him to sign it, knowing that you're going to get Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. And typically when you get the helmet, it's Michael Irvin on, I'm pointing the other way, but Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman in the middle, Emmitt Smith at the front part of the helmet. That's the way people typically get them signed. Michael Irvin on the back, on the downward end. But anyway, that's that's Tag's tip of the week. If you want to get some autographs, that's what you got.
Tip of the week.
That's what you got to do. But yeah, I love sports memorabilia. I've been collecting since I was a kid, as you can see. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to all this shit. I've actually been unloading a lot of autographs, like cards and stuff I've had through the years. I've kind of kept all my Cowboy rookie ones, but I mean, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So
hey, pass it down to the son, man.
I'll throw half this shit away. These kids. I made a deal with my son. I said, look, man, because he's going into college. I said, here's all my cards. Here's all my stuff. I said, you put it on. I'll mail it all out. I'll get all that. You just handle the eBay. You handle all that stuff, because I don't want to deal with it. And I'll give you half the money. Now, he put nothing into it. I'm the one who spent all the money on the cards and getting them signed and doing all this crap. And he didn't want to do it. He did it for like a week. I don't want to do this. And I made $800 in 1 month.
Hey, man, that's easy money.
So I told him. The best was so after the first month, because he started, I said, hey, look, all right, we put on it. I paid him his $400. I said, you're fired. And then, so I would tell people the story. I said, man, you fired your own son? I said, well, he didn't do the job, man. What work? You ain't going to get that money. So
you got to teach him young.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I love collecting. And I'll tell you guys another, if you want a tag tip of the week, Peyton Manning right now signs in the mail. Send him a letter, self-addressed stamped envelope, one card. He won't sign a rookie card, but if you got a Peyton Manning, he'll sign it and send it back, and it's legit. So he goes off and on. He gets hot and cold, but I've just from what I've seen, he's signing again in the mail.
Nice.
So, yeah. So if anyone who wants Peyton Manning, there's your opportunity. So anyway. That's it, man. I don't know what else to say. We've been talking for an hour and a half.
Yeah, man. But it passed by like 20 minutes, like it always does.
I know. Yeah, Ray. He won't sign his rookie through the mail.
Oh, well.
Typically, a lot of people won't sign rookies because the rookies now are more valuable. So some players, like you ever see, like Bo Jack, anyone, if you go to a signing, if you try and get him to sign a rookie card, they jack it up even higher.
Now I wonder if he'd sign if I sent him an Eli Manning card, if he'd sign his name on it.
I don't know. Probably laugh. He'd probably
send
laugh.
him an Eli Manning card and be like, "Please sign this."
He'd probably laugh, but no. I mean, I did this. I did through the mail. A lot as a kid. I don't do it as much anymore. It was a fun hobby for a while. Now I'm very strategic about it. I think I told you during COVID. You start going through all your stuff. So I got bored, and I made just something to do. I got every Tony Dorsett Topps card signed. And I would just send to him every week. I'd send him, throw a few bucks in there, and I send it. And I ended up from his rookie season. I didn't get the Bronco one signed, so I couldn't do that. So every Dallas Cowboy card that was a Topps card, I got signed. And now I got it. And I'm like, what do I do with all of it? So I'm gonna try and make something of it. But it's a lot of fun. And the cool thing is the older guys are just so nice, and they're just more appreciative. You get letters back. You write letters. I had Tex Schramm. When I was a kid, I sent him a picture, and he sent a note back and said, "Call me," and gave me his phone number.
Oh,
I
wow.
talked like 40 minutes about Tom Landry. He just wanted to know where I got the picture because I've never seen that picture. And I'm like, oh, I've just, you bought it off Photo File was a thing back in the day, and I just got it off that. And then Bob Brunig, who played with the Cowboys, I had these old cards, these 5x7 cards. I sent it to him, and then he sent me a business card back and said, "Please call me." So I call him, and he's like, "Man, where did you get that? Where did you get that card? I never saw it." I said, "I don't know. I had it since I was a kid." And he wanted to get it for his grandkids. I said, "Man, I'll send it back to you, man. You can have it." He goes, "No, man, I won't. I don't want to take it from you." I said, "Just look on eBay." I said, "You might find it." But he was just a nice guy too. And you get some of those old guys, man, they're just really cool. So
get a little bit nostalgic. Hey, look, I don't know how many of those cards you have from Tony Dorsett, how many that you have, but I was just thinking, but man, if you could get the Tony Dorsett cards and turn them into like a 33 and put that on like a 33 out of all of his autograph cards and put that kind of like on a little nice little backdrop, blue Dallas Cowboys, but that'd be pretty cool, man.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's like, what do you do with them all? So that's a good one to do. And the other thing I did was the 1977 Super Bowl champions, so the 78 Topps set. I got every Cowboy signed. And the last one I couldn't get, the last holdout, unfortunately, he had passed away, and it took a while to find it, was Harvey Martin. So I got Harvey Martin. Yeah. All the other ones, like Roger Staubach, I got. Dorsett, Drew Pearson, Hollywood Henderson, all those guys. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I say one day maybe I just do a sports memorabilia show and just go through all my shit and
showcase it all, man.
What do you do? I mean, like I said, what do you do with all this stuff? You love collecting it, and it's like I keep all the Cowboy stuff and sell all the others. But anyway. So, hey, I hope I didn't bore you guys with sports stuff.
We got talking into memorabilia. Sometimes we forget. We are over here. We're just having a good old conversation about memorabilia and what.
Yeah. So absolutely. So no, it's a lot of fun. I love doing it. I love talking about it. And like I said, it's a cool hobby. I'm not some nerd sitting in the basement. I know you had trouble with some Eagle guy, and he looked like someone who's probably sitting in his parents' basement. So it's just something fun. It's fun to do. Everyone has their vice. My buddies go to Vegas and they gamble. My vice is the Dallas Cowboys. So that's it'll always be that. But it's like I always tell my wife, and she loves me to death, and she appreciates it. It's like I could be doing a hell of a lot of worse things than loving the Cowboys.
Absolutely. Never apologize for having a passion or a hobby, especially when it's a healthy one, that has to do with, I feel like sports is a healthy one. You know what I mean? There's still that testosterone and male camaraderie and, the smack talk and the showmanship and just all that good shit that comes in with football, man. And like I say, I was talking with Tuck during the draft, and we were sitting there and we were talking about things. And, I was like, he asked if his wife ever got angry, and he's like, nah, she don't ever get mad at it because she knows I could be doing far worse things than doing a podcast and talking to players and breaking down game film. And like, you know, that's so true for all this, man. That's, you know, this is something we love, man. And I love it. You love it. So I'm down for it all the time. Anytime anybody wants to talk Cowboys football, I'm always ready to talk Cowboys football.
No, I'm with it. We'll bounce out it because your boy's got to get up at 4 a.m. But I was just gonna say, because you know, we've done this podcast for like 6 months and it's kind of got going. But years ago, I actually did. Even on this channel, you can go back and look at some old stuff, and it's kind of dated. But I did a 3-part series of my Cowboys cave. And I went through up close all the pictures, all the autographs, and there was always there's some of it has stories behind it, which I told the stories and things like that. So if you guys ever get bored, there is a 3-part video, and my daughter was the interviewer, the person doing it. That was when she loved doing the stuff with Pops. Now she's 16. She don't want to, it's not cool to do this anymore. So that's why I lost my sidekick. When it came to the hype videos, I thought she was going to take over for me, but yeah, you can check it out. It's a 3-part series. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it shows a lot of the memorabilia, but like I said, it's changed. And every year I do a walkthrough and we'll do an update before the season. I always do it to kick off the season. But anyway, that's my shameless plug for me, Kelly. So.
Hey, well, you know what? I might have to go back and watch it because I haven't actually seen all the stuff you got. I know you got one of the most impressive man caves in all the Cowboys nation. So
yeah, it's a clean look. I try and keep it clean. There's been some great ones. I mean, I've seen some phenomenal stuff, but I always try and keep it clean. But yeah, hey, anyway, we're off now. I'm off next week. Kelly, are you doing any shows? Is there anything you got going on next week? Or are you going to take the week off too with 4th of July?
I think I'll probably be off. I got a family reunion. I think I got a worked in a vacation day in there, so I got a long weekend. So, yeah, man. I mean, not unless I decide to do some impromptu thing on next week on Thursday, which it's possible. May decide to do that. We'll see. But yeah, right now the plan is some rest and relaxation, man. It's kind of a slow point in the season. Me and you have talked about it. I think the Cowboys nation, everybody along for the ride knows it. This is a slow point of the season, but it's about to pick up steam. We're going to get training camp going. And, hey, man, we're off and running then, man. There's no looking back. It's going to be balls to the wall, pedal to the metal all the way until Super Bowl Sunday. So, and hopefully our Dallas Cowboys are playing in it. So I'm ready to get this thing kicked off, man. And excited for a long weekend too, man. So 4th of July will be nice.
Forward to it. My vacation starts tomorrow. I don't know if it actually starts tomorrow because I got to drive 8.5 hours. But as soon as I get there, the vacation officially starts. And ain't much internet up there. I don't have much signal. So your boy will definitely not be dropping in. But we will have a show on Monday, pre-recorded. It's the top 5 Dallas Cowboy receivers all time. I encourage you guys to check it out. It'll be at 7 or 8 p.m. I can't remember, and you can watch it whenever the hell you want. You don't have to watch it at that specific time. That's the beauty of it. But we're taking a week off. We're going to recharge the batteries. Then we're going to get going. It's going to be getting closer to training camp. We've got some interviews that are set up on the backside. Like I said, we should have a really good guest, and I'm working on a couple other ones that I think will be very interesting and be cool for Cowboy fans. So we've got some stuff coming up. So you guys have a great 4th. Kelly, have a great 4th, great weekend. And I'll let you leave us off, and then we'll cut the show. But you guys take care, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Mike, you have a great weekend. And Cowboys Nation, as always, you guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Be responsible. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
I'll see you.
The Eagles getting ready because you might not like it. But you will learn to love it because we are the best thing going today. Now,